All right, guys. So very quickly, we're talking about market structure and how we can clearly understand market structure as quickly as we can and as simple as we can. Now, as we all know, basic concept of market structure during an uptrending pattern, we have price continually forming higher highs and higher lows. And in a downtrending pattern, we have price continually forming lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so it's quite simple. We'll only have to be getting used to a few concepts so we can make progress. All right. So this was previous low, all right, and this was previous high, as well as we have this low and we have this high. Now, the concept or the theory behind an uptrending market in the creation of market structure is the fact that in an uptrending market, price must always create strong lows and weak highs. In an uptrending market, price must always create strong lows and weak highs. They are called strong lows because they are able to take out a high that had existed before them. Okay, so we had this high before the creation of this low, but this low came in and then we birthed momentum from here that helped us move upward, and by so doing, taking out this high. So the high that was taken out becomes a weak high, and the low that took out the high becomes a strong low. Okay, so this break above the high becomes our break of structure, okay, which is also called BOS, right? All right, so I can do pretty well with my pen, so just help me. All right, okay, so this becomes another low, right? And this becomes another high. But the ability of price to gather momentum at this point and be able to take out this high automatically makes this low, a weak low, and makes this high a strong high. Now, the theory in all of these, or the logic inside of this, is that as far as price would continue bearish, this should serve as a protected low. That is to say that we are not willing to break below this low. A break below this low has only terminated our upward movement, or given us an impression that we should be changing trend, because this is a strong high, a strong low rather. Okay, so once a strong low is taken out, it becomes weak. And that is signs that we have more of a selling pressure than bullish pressure in the market. Okay, now if that refuses to happen, then it means the logic still stays intact. And then for our trend to continue, we must constantly bet strong lows and weak highs in an uptrending pattern and constantly break structure to the upside. Okay, and then according to theory, we always have a point in price where price would fail to continue to move above, and then we'll begin to experience declination to the downside. That declination should be able to take out the previous strong low, which automatically, though in theory, which automatically, according to theory, changes or transfers strength from this low to what? This high. So this low ceases to be a strong low the moment it was violated by this high. So the moment this low gets violated, it ceases to be a strong low. It becomes a weak low because we just had a high up here that took this low out, which gives us an impression, though not a guarantee, but then that's the first sign we look out for to be certain to note that a bearish trend should be coming up shortly. Okay, and then we birthed another weak low, okay, and this high. So this becomes the new protected high. As far as price stays bearish, we are not supposed to break above this high. A break above this high only tells us that price may be continuing bullish. Okay, a bullish close above this high, okay, or structural close above this high. But as far as we remain below this high and continue in that direction, we'll be creating strong highs and weak lows and breaking structure to the downside. So this becomes a new protected high and the new protected high, because these highs will be taking out these lows, which are weak lows, and making these highs strong highs. Okay, I call them protected high, or they are called protected highs in theory, because the moment these highs are violated, we give buyers a kind of impression that they are free to now come in and continue a new trend. okay? Because we'll be violating the concept of lower highs and lower lows the moment we violate a high that is supposed to be a lower high by birthing a high that is higher than that high. Okay, that brings in a higher high into a game that was totally meant for lower highs and lower lows. Okay, I hope you understand me. Okay, now before we jump to the charts quickly, I would like to also express something very fast. Now, we have runs and trends, okay? We have runs and trends, runs and trends. That's how the market moves in its creation of runs and trends, okay? So this is a run up, run down, run up, run down, run up, run down, run up, run down, okay? Now, your higher time frame run would definitely be creating a trend in your lower time frame. Your higher time frame run would definitely be creating a trend in your lower time frame. Okay, so we may have this straight run on the higher time frame, but in the lower time frame, let's assume this is our 4 hours time frame. On our 15 minutes time frame, we'll still have amazing formations of higher highs and higher lows forming nicely bullish structures, right? And just like that, so on and so forth. Of which I will take out time to explain substructures or internal structures as we proceed in this journey we have begun talking about market structure. Okay, so while we have clear runs on our higher time frame, inside of our lower time frame, we will still be having trends, clear trends, printing very sharp and almost precise, maybe not so precise, but then certainly higher highs and higher lows inside of the runs. Okay, so on your higher time frame, you may have a straight run to the upside from what your 4 hour may be able to present to you. But on your M15, we still have very amazing higher highs and higher low trends. Okay, that is why most times as intraday traders, we are much more interested in taking our entries on the smaller time frame and then capitalizing on the run that we have on the higher time frame. Okay, so this is supposed to be somewhat of an introduction to market structure as we make progress. I don't want to overcomplicate this video. I just want to try and lay foundation for us that we would be building on as we make progress studying market structure. So let's call this market structure part 1. We'll be looking at the chart quickly just to look at how price behaves or relates to the formation of higher highs and higher lows and forming strong highs and weak lows or protected highs and weak lows that has to be violated, okay? Or protected or strong and weak high and lows. So let's just see that very quickly on our charts. Okay, I'll try not to go too far. Try not to go too far. Let's get a clear trend. All right, so very quickly. 1 minute. Okay, I know some of you would want to ask why this happened here, right? Okay, so if you observe at this area, we did not create a new high. Okay, so there was certainly no new high that was created here inside of our trend. It means this was liquidity. Price had to return back to a level of demand here to pick up the trend. Okay, so the trend actually began from, okay, we actually started having clear trending markets from this point. Okay, so yeah, we had liquidity taken out here and all of that. So let's trace the journey of price or market structure from this point. Okay, so this became our new high. Okay, so let's jump market structure very quickly. And we had this move down here and continued upward. Okay, so this became our, let me see if I can trace the story from behind. All right, good. So let's go from here. All right, this was still inside of this range. Okay, so I would not include that in our setup talking about strong highs and weak lows. Okay, because we actually came out to take liquidity from this point, just as we took out liquidity from this high point here. Okay, so our clear trend began from this point here, right? So we had this high as our weak high and this as our strong low, just like we had this high as our weak high and we had this as our strong low. We had this high as our weak high and we had this as our strong low. And don't forget, the idea of a strong low is that it should not be violated to the downside. A violation of the downside to the downside gives us an impression that that price should begin to change trend. Now, the logic is that the institutions or the big players or whatever it is has tons and tons of bullish orders inside of this area. Okay, so bringing price below this level will almost put them, not almost, bringing price below this level, we put their buy orders inside of here in a loss. Okay, and then the house would never want to lose, like I always say. Okay, so this becomes a protected low, which makes this a strong low. And then it must always take out previous high for it to be valid as a strong low. Okay, so we took out this high by this low. This high was taken out by this low. Okay, let's proceed. Let's proceed. Okay, so we took out this high by this low, and then suddenly we moved to the downside. Now, the idea of coming to the downside was to take out some certain form of liquidity that we had around this area. Okay, to fill inefficiency and fair value gap, like I taught you guys in previous series. So you understand what is inside of here. We still had their orders inside of this place, right? And then our protected lows still sat at this point, okay? And then we continue to break structure to the upside, right? Because of this guy here. And we continued just like that, until we got to the point where price could no longer go upward, right? And then we violated this level. Okay, so this became new break of structure, and we had break of structure and then break of structure, making this level where a new strong high and weak low, strong high and weak low, strong highs and break of structure here, right? So weak lows and then strong highs and weak lows. And like I said, the strong high should not be violated. So price came to mitigate and then continued bearish. So this was weak low, right? And strong high. Okay, as the case may be, you can continue marking in chat. And then you can see break of structure, right? Break of structure. This is a strong high, weak low. Okay, strong high, right? And weak low. It says mitigates. Okay, let's continue. Strong high, right? Weak low. Strong highs, weak low, right? Liquidity has been created here because of the impulse top formation. Okay, but then strong high, weak low, and so on. If I zoom in on this, you see the same price action. Okay, so we have strong highs and weak lows. We have strong highs and weak lows. And once this gets taken out, it will automatically make this guy here a strong high and make this guy here a weak low. Okay, so that is just the market structure, introduction to market structure, and how price trends or how trends are created inside of price by the creation of strong highs and weak lows on downtrending patterns and the formation of weak highs and strong lows in uptrending pattern. And like I mentioned, it is called a strong high because it violates a weak low, or it is called a strong low because it violates a weak high in an uptrending pattern. Okay, so let's call this an introduction as we look forward to future classes on market structure.